name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my most recent makeover. It is our master bathroom. If you've been following me for a little while, then you'll know that I actually made this room over before. And if you haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. I'll put it in a little card above, and you can see what the bathroom looked like before I did anything in it. And it was kind of crazy. It was very builder's grade, had linoleum in it. So yeah, go check that out. You got to see a little sneak peek of what the bathroom looks like now during the intro. But before I show you all of the details and show you everything in this bathroom, I want to show you what it looked like before I got started with this most recent project. So I'll show you that now. So if you can't tell, this bathroom is going to resemble your standard builder's grade bathroom, especially with that vanity. And those faucets, but you can see I replaced the giant mirror that was over the vanity previously with some two smaller ones. I also hung some shelving just for extra storage because that vanity just really wasn't sufficient or functional when it came to storage. You can see we've got a jetted tub and then over there a shower which has a shower fitter inside of it. I debated ripping both of these items out and decided against it. And I'm going to be, you'll see, replacing the fixtures that are in them to give them an updated look. Opposite of all of this is a water closet, and this is sort of just a tiny room that houses a toilet. And this is actually, now that it's done, my favorite room in the house. Surprisingly, I love the upgrade that I did to this room. And here's a better look at the floor I painted and stenciled, which is going to be ripped up. You'll see in just a few minutes. If you follow me on Instagram, then you have been along with me on this process every step of the way. I started this project back in October thinking I would have it done by Thanksgiving, and it is January now. I want to show you what this bathroom looks like now, and then I want to go through all of the details step by step of everything that I did in this bathroom. Let me show you what it looks like now. Show you everything I did in this room step by step. I'm going to have all of the items that I possibly can linked below in the description box. So if you have any questions about anything, definitely check there. And I want to say really quickly that this project only cost us about $2,000. That might sound like a lot of money, but we did retile the floor and we put all new fixtures in, new vanities, and I think that is very, very budget friendly. You know, if we were to hire a contractor to redo our bathroom completely, it could have cost anywhere between $15,000 and $30,000, depending on what we had done. So for being able to do this ourselves, I think $2,000 is a great price. I have to give a shout out to our friends Bridget and David because they were a great resource when I was kind of researching this. They redid their bathroom themselves and they really gave me a lot of information and helped me make decisions on whether or not I wanted to like retile the shower, like rip out the shower fitter. They used Ikea vanities as well, and they were just so kind and so forthcoming with information, and I just so appreciate that. But also I did a ton of research on my own. I watched YouTube videos. The research is out there. I'm going to share with you as much as I can, but if there's something I left out, there's probably a video for it, and that is the wonderful thing about YouTube. The first thing I did in the bathroom was I went through and removed all the little extra things that I wasn't going to need anymore, like the mirrors and this and this and these, and anything else like pictures or anything like that. This vanity was 72 inches long and it looks kind of intimidating to remove, but it was actually really easy. After I removed the faucets and cut the caulk lines on everything, my husband and I were able to remove the countertop off of it. It was pretty heavy and kind of oddly shaped, but we got it from our third floor to our first floor, no problem. To get the actual cabinet out, I had to remove all of the quarter round from around it. And since I was replacing the floor and removing all of the baseboards, I wasn't too careful when I did this. I was actually able to sell this vanity on Facebook Marketplace, so I made a little money off of that. So then I was able to start ripping up the linoleum, which was kind of crazy. I had to actually come back with a razor knife and cut it in pieces to remove it. And once it was all up, I discovered that there were a ton of staples that was holding the luan underneath the linoleum in. And because there were so many and they were really, really hard to remove, I went ahead and I just hammered them in deeper and made the floor completely smooth that way. After that was done, we were able to take a little trip to the tile store. We got all of our tile and tiling supplies from Floor and Decor. We have one really close to us and it seemed to have the lowest prices for what we needed. We measured our bathrooms about 108 square feet, so we bought enough tile to cover 110 square feet. This is us dry fitting the Schluter Dietra that we opted to use rather than Hardybacker board for the floor. It's a little bit of a pricier option, but it doesn't raise your floor height up as much as using the cement backer board, and also you don't have to screw anything in, it just goes down with thin set. I mainly let my husband pilot this portion of the project, and he laid all of the thin set and then laid the Schluter Dietra right on top. And then on top of this, we're going to be laying mortar and then laying the tile. Here is the tile that we chose. It's an 8-inch ceramic hexagon shaped tile, and this is me dry fitting them. Dry fitting allowed me to pre-cut a good portion of the tiles for this bathroom. And as you can see, there are some places that I did not pre-cut some tiles just because I needed some room for error in the case that once we started laying them with the mortar, there was a shift or a change. Most of the YouTube videos that I watched about tiling suggested that you start in the center of the room. I, however, did not. I decided to use a laser level and line it up against my tub and shower. It was most important to me that it was straight there because that actually felt like more of a focal point in our room. Because I don't feel qualified to give actual tiling advice, I'm not going to tell you every little thing we did with tiling this room, but I will link some videos below that we found helpful. And then I did the grouting myself. So I bought some pre-mixed grout in the color white, which the white on white just speaks to me. I'm really pleased with that. And then after I was done grouting, I went through and I removed any haze or chunks of grout that I missed with a haze remover made by the same company that makes the grout. After the floors were done, I spent some time repainting in here. It didn't absolutely need a new coat of paint, but the walls were kind of damaged and I thought it would freshen it up a little bit. So I did paint all of the walls and even the ceiling in here with my go-to paint, Aesthetic White by Sherwin, which actually looks a lot different in here than it does in the rest of the rooms of my house. I think because we just get so little light in this room, it just looks a little bit deeper, but it looks really good next to the champagne bronze fixtures. Here is the water closet. After I got all of the baseboards in, I kind of came back to this. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it, but it was my husband's idea that it needed a bold color. So we decided together to paint it like a deep, deep green. We used vintage Vogue from Benjamin Moore, and it is such a nice pop because it is such a small space. It's very unexpected, but it makes the room a little bit cozier because there's nothing else in here but a toilet. And then after I was done painting, I went ahead and installed the baseboards, and installing it after I painted made my life a lot easier. For the baseboards, I just used some 1x6 finger joint boards purchased from Home Depot. I have used these around my house for other pieces of molding and trim work, so if you've been watching my channel for a little while, this probably looks familiar. And after I had all of these installed throughout the bathroom, I went ahead, filled my nail holes, caulked around the edges, and touched them up with paint. I did replace all of the fixtures in our bathroom. That includes the shower head, the shower handle, the drain cover in the shower, the tub faucet, the tub spout, the overflow plate on the tub, and also the turn and pull drain on the tub, which I actually had to order a special wrench to remove the old one and install the new one, and I ordered it off Amazon. I'll have it linked below. I could not get it out without it. Over the tub was a canned recessed light, which I really wanted to replace with a pendant light, and I found a pendant light converter that made it really easy to uninstall the can and install the hardware to connect a pendant light. So I was able to hang a light of my choice here. Installing these Ikea vanities was a little intimidating to me at first. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, but I'm here to say it was actually quite easy. I started by simply following the instructions and putting them completely together, except for I did not add the drawers yet. I'll save that for last. These cabinets have the option of simply being mounted to the wall, or you can add legs. Ikea does sell legs for them. I went ahead and purchased legs from Amazon that I specifically liked and wanted for this look. And I still mounted them to the wall, so I only needed 2 legs for each vanity, which actually saved me some money as well. And before I actually mounted them to the wall, I made sure they were centered in the bathroom. They were where I was going to have them. I have 2 light fixtures that they needed to be centered underneath, so I just needed to make sure they were lined up perfectly. I also took this opportunity to go ahead and install the mirrors over the vanities before I actually had the vanities in, because it's just a little easier to get in and up and close against the wall without the vanities there. And these mirrors are from Target. I absolutely love them. I did use some drywall anchors when installing these. Unfortunately, I was not able to hit a stud anywhere, but I will have my favorite drywall anchors linked below. I have definitely had some hits and misses over the years and figured out which ones are best. So if you have had trouble with drywall anchors in the past, make sure you check the description box for those. Installing the sink was pretty simple. This is the Odinspik from Ikea, and it's one of those things that you just set on top and then you caulk it in. It's kind of crazy that is what secures them, but it is. So that was pretty simple. And this is where I also added the drawer slides in, even though I wasn't installing the drawers yet. Aside from the custom legs, the first step to hacking this Ikea vanity was to actually paint this little silver thing. So this actually goes into the hole that drains your sink in case it's overfilled, and I was worried that anything that was going to be silver or chrome was really going to clash with my champagne bronze fixtures. So after some research, I found this appliance epoxy from Rust-Oleum, and I just simply spray painted these little silver things and let it sit. It's recommended to sit for 24 hours, but they came out perfectly, and after using the sinks for a few weeks, I can tell you that it has not had any issues with chipping or anything of that nature. Installing it was just as easy as it would have been had I not spray painted them. Installing the rest of the plumbing and the drain in the sink was literally as simple as reading instructions and doing what they say. I didn't have any hiccups or difficulties doing this. A lot of you were praising me on Instagram for doing this myself, and I'm telling you guys, this is not rocket science. It is not hard. I was totally intimidated by it, but once I started reading the instructions and just following them, I found that it was really, really simple and really easy. It does require you to use a hacksaw if you have to shorten the pipes, but it's not as crazy and intimidating as it might look. These are actually the second faucets that I ordered for this bathroom, and the first ones were way too brassy. These ones are perfect. They match the champagne bronze fixtures that I have in the bathroom, and they were easy to install, and also my husband and I are so impressed by the water flow. They have such high pressure. We absolutely love them, and also they're super compatible with these Ikea sinks. Similarly to the faucets, I also ordered some lights that did not match the finish in the bathroom, and I had to return them. But I did find these on Amazon, and the Amazon selection for lights that I was looking for was slim pickings this time around. So I was really grateful to find these, and I think they are exactly what I was looking for. They're very easy to install, and I like that they have the sort of milk glass globes that go on them. So jumping back over to the vanities, I decided to replace the drawer fronts because I really wanted a natural wood look, and I didn't like the wood vanities that Ikea had to offer. So I purchased this 6-foot 1x12 of pine, which happened to be the exact depth and width I needed to match the previous drawer fronts. And I just cut them to length and I sanded them down really nice and smooth, which I had to do several times actually because pine is so soft. And I stained it with a water-based stain in golden oak. And then after that, I used a matte poly to seal them. And I'm super upset about this, but unfortunately, I did lose the footage of me actually installing these drawer fronts. But I'm here to tell you it was very, very simple to do. All I did was build the drawer frames as instructed. And then when I was supposed to attach the original drawer fronts, I attached the new ones using some wood glue and some pocket holes. I still used used the white handles that came with the Ikea vanities, which I really liked the look of. And the only thing that I had to do to make this like custom in the drawer part was I did have to use my hacksaw to cut out this part in the back, which is very common with these vanities, so that it can fit around that plumbing. I added some finishing touches to the bathroom, like hanging the towel hooks, which I knew that I wanted just plain like little hooks for the towels. I saw it in my friend Bridget's bathroom and I absolutely loved the look, so that's what I went for, and it has been really easy to manage. I don't have to fold my towel after I wash my face. I just hang it up there and I think it looks really good. You may have noticed that it looked like our tub had a giant hole in the side of it earlier. That is because I had taken the tub cover off while we installed the tile floors. So this is me just putting it back on. It is not my favorite feature in the bathroom, and I thought of some kind of creative ideas for covering it up, but I decided since we're going to sell that I'm just going to leave it as is for now. I also added this accordion coat rack for towels and a little bench next to the shower. This toilet paper holder is everything I've ever dreamed of in a toilet paper holder. It matches my fixtures perfectly and it is so pretty against this green. And I also wanted to mention how great and inexpensive this rug is. It looks like real vintage and it doesn't clash with the actual real vintage rug that I have in the water closet next to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of the journey, and I will see you guys next time.